when you wanna know what's on the trail. Where do you go? And what will they say? CQ Review. CQ Review. CQ Review. CQ Review. CQ Review.
Welcome to Canadian Quadders Review. I'm Mark, and once again today we're at Maple Ridge Motorsports in Maple Ridge, BC, Canada, and we're checking out this 2019 Suzuki KingQuad 400 ASI.
Service line 1, please. Service line 1.
This is a neat little machine. Let's dive into this, shall we? So first off, the KingQuad 400 is going to give you a couple different options. It's going to come in a model ASI, which is this one, and it'll also come in another model called FSI. And the difference between the two is that the ASI is an automatic transmission and the FSI is a 5-speed manual transmission. It's kind of interesting that they gave you a choice. Most ATVs nowadays are strictly automatic. So the engine is a 376cc, 4-stroke, single-cylinder, air-cooled, with a single overhead cam. It's got the Suzuki fuel injection system and electronic ignition. It is the automatic with the V-belt. So the suspension is an independent double wishbone coil spring oil dampened shock in the front. In the rear, it's a swing arm type solid axle with a coil spring oil damped shock in the rear. It's got a bit of a trailer hitch there for you, and there's your brake on the one side with the adjusting screws. And I do like the fact that they actually put 2 shocks on this system. The brute force 650 that I had many years ago in 06 had very much the same technology, but it was just a single shock, or a mono shock is what they call it. And I would like to think that the dual shock system here would be a little bit more stable, possibly more comfortable ride. You have the disc brakes in the front that are twin, and a drum brake on the rear. And they're 25 by 8 by 12 size tires on the front, and 25 by 10 by 12 on the rear. I will go over the model of the tires in a little bit. The overall length is 81 inches, overall width is 45 inches, overall height is 48. Wheelbase is 50 inches, and the ground clearance is 9.8. Seat height is 31 inches, and the curb weight is 628 pounds or 285 kilograms. Your fuel capacity is 16 liters or 3.5 imperial gallons. All in all, it's a really nice looking quad. The thing that you have to know, if you don't already, I've always been a huge fan of Suzuki. I like almost all sorts of quads, really, but I've always taken a partial liking to the Suzuki. They were the company that originally invented the 4-wheel ATV. Honda might have had its trikes out, and they were good for what they were, but Suzuki's were the first ones to come out with the actual 4-wheel ATV. And it shows. There's been plenty of times I've talked to people about their Suzuki machines and they just love them. And they've had no issues. They are just built solid. They're built to last. And it looks like Suzuki is going to continue to improve their ATVs rather than bring out any side-by-sides, which I think is pretty cool, because it seems like most other manufacturers have gone away from the ATV. So smart on Suzuki for trying to keep that market share. And the one thing you'll notice if you ever test ride or buy a Suzuki KingQuad, the transmissions shift buttery smooth. I have never seen any other transmission in the industry shift as smooth as a Suzuki. Today, riding this little 400 around proved to be exactly the same thing as a 500 or a 750. Just incredibly smooth, no issues, hardly any effort to get in whatever gear that you want. It's a great thing. So the 400 is basically their entry-level model, I guess you could say. So it's going to be a little bit more on the simplistic side, but that doesn't take anything away from its capability and its quality. So you're going to have your headlight switch, your kill switch, your starter button. I like the fact that it's got the built-in screw holes for mirrors. You don't have to buy special bracketing. It's got a decent LCD display. And of course on the right, there's your throttle. And this thing is a cable-driven four-wheel drive selector. So with the 400 and the entry-level models like this, you won't be getting a locking front diff. It's got a nice aggressive looking front end, even though it's a smaller machine. Looks like there's great space in there to install a winch if you like. It's got some good racks. I always prefer the metal tubing rack like this over the plastic ones that they have nowadays. Plastic likes to crack in cold weather. This, nice and solid, and you can put bungee cords or tie downs anywhere. And let's see what the load capacity is. So this will come with some Carlisle AT 489 tires. They will be 4 plies. Basically just an entry-level tire. That's the one thing you'll notice when you buy a good quality quad like a Suzuki or a Yamaha or something like that. Usually simple things like tires will be entry-level stuff, and it's up to you to upgrade. And I would highly recommend, if you do buy something like this, maybe spend a couple extra $100 at the time of purchase and get yourself some decent 6-ply radial tires. If you have a half-decent tire on your machine, it'll obviously get better traction, it'll handle better, and with the better handling and traction, you might compensate for not having a locking front diff on this particular model. Just something to keep in mind. But definitely a winch and some better tires is usually a very good upgrade at the very beginning, just for safety reasons and a better ride as far as the tires are concerned. So this one will have the gas tank at the top, up by the handlebars rather than underneath the seat. So the air cleaner or air filter should be underneath the seat on this one. We'll take a peek in a minute. The dipstick for the oil is right down there. Super easy to get at, which is a bonus. And as predicted, there's your air cleaner, there's your battery, and a little bit of storage. And the storage will come with this cover. There we go. Didn't want to break it. Yeah, it just clips into place, so it keeps things, I would imagine, relatively dry and dust-free. And of course, it is a belt-driven vehicle, a V-belt. CVT transmission. and your 12-volt power supply. So if you're looking for an entry-level machine, or maybe something to do some work around the yard, that kind of thing, this would definitely be the quad for you. It'll have enough power to get you through some trails and that kind of stuff, and tow a small trailer or something around the yard. It would definitely be a nice little machine to have, or a great starter vehicle too if somebody is wanting to get into the ATV world. This would be a nice small little unit to get to know how to lean and take corners and that kind of stuff. It's a great little bike. And I love the footwells on this thing. Awesome traction there for your boots or your shoes, but it looks like some good solid plastic. It's not going to crack or break anytime soon. So once again, guys, I'd like to take the time to say thank you for checking out my videos and spending time with me. This is a lot of fun, and I hope that it's actually educational for you guys. I'm trying to get you the best information I can. If this machine interests you, come on down to Maple Ridge Motorsports in Maple Ridge, BC, Canada. Talk to Stan. Stan is incredibly knowledgeable in this field. He's been in this industry for many, many years. Loves what he does, loves talking to people. He's an easy guy to talk to. Got any questions about financing or options or that kind of thing, Stan is your man. Tell them that Canadian Quadders Review sent you, and they'll take excellent care of you. Once again, guys, thank you so much for checking this out. Please hit like and subscribe. And for those that do, I will return the favor. And we'll see you guys on the next video. So come and spend some time with me next Friday, and we're going to be talking about this 2019 Defender HD10 Max XMR. We'll see you then.